Cool. So for those of you who were on group coaching with me and who are part of Rainmaker coaching with me, this is a little bit of a repeat from what we talked about on Friday. However, please pay attention. Repetition is the mother of learning. So hearing it twice can't do anything but help you master this information at a higher level. And let's get started. So everything matters equally as a lie. You know, I'm a note taker. I take notes everywhere. And I know you guys are taking notes. So start out with everything matters equally as a lie. Now, from page 33 of the One Thing, I'm giving everybody an opportunity to grab their One Thing book. I'm checking the chat for somebody to say, what page is he on? That always happens, right? So from page 33 of the One Thing, here's what Gary has to say. There is more and more piled on that we believe simply must get done. Overbooked, overextended, overcommitted, in the weeds, and overwhelmingly becomes our collective condition. That's when the battle for the right of way gets fierce and frantic, lacking a clear formula. An example of a formula would be urgent and important, urgent and not important. Urgent, did I say that wrong? I said that wrong. Urgent and important, quadrant 1. Urgent and not important, quadrant 2. Urgent, I still think I said it wrong. Quadrant 1, urgent and important. Quadrant 2, not urgent and important. There we go. Quadrant 3, urgent and not important. And quadrant 4, urgent and not important. Formula, not formula. So that's when the battle for the right of way gets fierce and frantic. Lacking a clear formula for making decisions, we get reactive and fall back on familiar. Matter of fact, that feels good. I'm getting things done. I'm checking things off my list. It feels like I'm making progress. Comfortable ways to decide what to do. As a result, we haphazardly select approaches that undermine our success. He goes on to say at the bottom of the page, the best decision gets traded for any decision. Now, the very bottom of the page, he says, when everything feels urgent and important, everything seems equal. So, how do you define win the week? How do you define win the month? How do you define win the day? Talk to me. Just give me 2 or 3 answers, 2 or 3 respond to that. How do you define win the day, win the week, and win the month?
Time blocking, when I block my time.
Okay.
Win the day, set an appointment.
Okay, so that's your One Thing. That's your first domino. Great job.
Have standards, John.
Set standards. Okay.
Use the formula you just gave us.
Use the formula. I love that. Who was that? Sharon. Great job. Thank you, Sharon. So let me give you my answer. My answer is I hit standard on the 20% action plan in my personal life and my professional life. I hit standard on the 20% in my personal life and my professional life. In other words, I know what my 20% is in every area of my life, and I have an action plan in order to achieve my goals. And I hit standard. Standard is a key word there because there's a difference between a goal and a standard. Turn your goals into non-negotiable standards. If 20 conversations is part of your action plan, it's not a goal, it's a standard. By the way, it doesn't have to be 20 conversations. We've talked about this. It could be 10. If you're currently making 0 calls every day, don't start off by trying to make 20, start with 5. and make that a non-negotiable standard, and do that for a week. And then the following week, ramp it up until 20 conversations becomes a habit and a non-negotiable standard. Now, from page 34 of The One Thing, Gary goes on to say, Henry David Thoreau. Anybody remember reading him when you were in high school? I do.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Henry David Thoreau said, it's not enough to be busy. So are the ants. The question is, what are you busy about? Knocking out 100 to-dos for whatever the reason is a poor substitute for doing even one task that's meaningful. Valerie hit it when she said schedule an appointment. That's her one task. And that's the one thing that has to get done for her to win the day. She's crystal clear on that. By the way, she's on track. That's exactly the right way to think. Not everything matters equally. And success isn't a game won by whoever does the most. Let me say that again. Not everything matters equally, and success. You need to have a clear picture of what that looks like. What does success look like for you? Success isn't a game won by whoever does the most. Talk to me. Tell me, what does that mean to you? Again, 2 or 3 people, I just want you to share. What are you hearing when you hear not everything matters equally and success isn't a game won by whoever does the most?
Stop competing against others.
Good job, Ryan.
Not all things are created equally, John.
Okay. Good job, Michael.
You can have that to-do list and check them off, but if you're not doing the tasks or the goals at hand, right? The 20% versus the 80%.
That is absolutely correct. One more.
Follow up with what Michael says on page 35. It says you need a success list, a list that is purposefully created around extraordinary results.
Awesome job,
Not
Shirley.
just doing things just to be doing it. It's a purpose behind the things that we do, and they're narrowed down to reach our goal.
There you go. Great job, Shirley. All right, so here's what I'm hearing. Not everything matters equally, and success isn't a game won by whoever does the most. Here's what I'm hearing. My answer is top achievers always work from a clear sense of priority. For example, for 13 years, I went on an average of 20 listing appointments every single month and took an average of 15 listings every month. And the following is a list of everything that I've never done as a real estate agent. I've never entered a listing in the MLS. I've never showed properties to a buyer. I've never written a contract. I've never even read a contract. I've never done anything on contract to close. Now, don't hear that as bragging, because I'm not bragging. Matter of fact, I would tell you just quite the opposite. One of the reasons I've never done those things is because I really stink at those things. I'm only good at a couple things, and that is lead generation, converting those conversations into appointments, going on appointments, and converting those appointments into listings. That's it. Matter of fact, I would say that's the only thing I'm good at. Now, I was able to leverage that to an average of 15 seller listings taken every month for more than 13 years. Let's go back and hear what Gary said. He said, not everything matters equally, and success isn't a game won by whoever did the most. So
John,
Talk to
could
me.
I ask you a question? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you need to start out on a team in order to operate that way?
Claudia, 100%. Matter of fact, I've never not been on a team. I started out as a listing specialist for the Gary and Nikki team in Clearwater, Florida. And actually that was the most leveraged position that I've ever had, because I didn't even negotiate offers when I was on the Gary and Nikki team. I only did two things. I went on I lead generated and went on listing appointments. That was it. And I did that for 4 years. And then I started my own team, and we started out with leverage for each of those things that needed to be done, so that they were being done. They were just being done by someone else. Matt, by the way, those people who were doing those things that I wasn't doing, they were better at it than I was. So not only was it a good thing that I wasn't doing it, it was getting done better.
Thank you.
Sure, of course, my pleasure. All right, so from the 12-week year, let's see, page 106, because I know you guys are gonna go, what page is he on? All right, 106. Brian Moran is saying the weekly plan is a powerful tool that translates the 12-week plan into daily and weekly action. I think Brian read Gary's book, The One Thing, before he wrote this. Yes? Yes.
Probably.
The weekly plan is the instrument that organizes and focuses your week. The weekly plan is not a glorified to-do list. Rather, it reflects the critical strategic activity that needs to take place that week in order to achieve your goal. Keep in mind that this is really important. Listen really carefully. Keep in mind that the weekly plan is a derivative of your 12-week plan. It is not something that you create each week based on what happens to be urgent at the time. That creates consistency. It creates momentum. It creates a habit, which means my weekly plan, week 1 of the year, is based on the goals that I have set that year. In order to achieve those goals that year, then I have a set of goals that I need to achieve that month. And my weekly plan is always about the activities that lead to the results that I'm looking for that month. If these tactics get done, you've had a great week. What does that look like? We talked about it a little bit ago. What's another way of saying you've had a great week?
Had a great day.
You're close, Camille, really close.
The standards.
You
are
accomplished your goals.
You won the week.
Thank you. Yes, you won the week. If not, you've lost a week. Now there's 52 weeks in a year, yes or yes.
Yeah,
And how many weeks are we losing?
12.
How many weeks? I don't know. At the end of the week, if you can check each one of those non-negotiable standards, done. In other words, here, let me just keep it real and speak to everybody here. Non-negotiable standards, 10 real estate conversations, check. Send out 5 handwritten personal notes. That's 1 a day, check. Add 1 new person to my CRM, check. Launch a follow-up drip campaign for everybody in my database, check. Go on 1 face-to-face appointment with someone who is thinking of selling their home, check. Now, at the end of the week, if I could put a check mark next to each one of those activities, did I win the week?
Yes, you accomplished your goals.
100% won the week, regardless of the results. Did you hear take a listing? Did you hear get a buyer agency agreement signed? Did you hear put a property under contract? Say no.
No.
No,
No. So at the end of the week, winning the week has nothing to do with the results. Winning the week has everything to do with achieving the activities that lead to the results. And here's the really cool part. You're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. It's a choice.
all about choice.
100% a choice. Matter of fact, when you succeed and you've checked off each one of those activities in order to win the week. When you succeed, you succeeded because you chose to succeed. When you fail, you chose to fail. Now, you may not like that. Now, as a team leader, my standard is driven by something called a 2-10-40. And the 2-10-40 simply means, as a team leader, I am required to have 2 face-to-face appointments every day, 10 a week, and 40 a month. Now, in 6 years of doing this job, I've never missed that standard. Not bragging. Please don't hear that. Here's what I want you to hear. The reason I've never missed it is because I have a daily standard that says I will schedule 3 appointments every day and I will not stop until I do. That's a choice because I choose to stop making calls. If I only have 2 appointments and I say, close enough, going home. I chose not to hit standard. I chose not to hit my non-negotiable standard.
Now, John, in your 2-10-40, not once did I hear you say, I will recruit 1 person a day or 1 person a week. That wasn't, obviously that'd be a great goal, but that's not what you're doing. You're accomplishing your tasks.
Yeah, I don't even focus on that, Alex. I really don't. I mean, I could tell you what my numbers are. You know, standard for the company is 10 agents added to the company a month. My 5-year average is 15 a month. But it's not about that. It's about not going home until I've scheduled 3 appointments.
It's about the non-negotiable standard.
Yes, raise your standards. You want better results? Raise your standards.
And John, as you were going over the 10 contacts, the 1 note, the 1 add to database, 1 appointment, that's per day. That's not for the week, guys. I'm sure you guys know that, but I'm just gonna.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, Michael. And that's, thank you. And that's to everybody on the call, because is that your standard? Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe your standard is more. Cool. Maybe it's a little bit less. Fine. As long as you're hitting your standard, these are your goals, not mine.
So John, I have a comment. The first thing you said before you said that you had to get 3 appointments a day, you were talking about you had to just do the work that you had to do. You didn't say anything about the results and that you made your week because you did the work. And my thought on that is that based on the law of large numbers, you're going to hit your results over a long time. So you can have a bad week and an amazing week, but as long as you know you're consistent with the work that you do, you're going to average out getting the results that you want. And when you were saying about how you don't go home until you get the 3 because that's your standard. So if you've got a wife and kids waiting for you, your life feels out of control if you have to get 3 results every day, because the law of averages says that if that's your standard to get 3 appointments every day, some days you're only going to get 1 and you still got to go home or your life is out of control.
So Claudia,
Yes.
have you and I, is this your first time sharing on the call, or have you shared before?
Yeah.
First time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. So I wish your camera was on because I want to look at you.
Oh, okay. You know what? My camera is on, but I have tape over it because I got that from Mark Zuckerberg. But anyway, I saw that he does that, but let me take off the tape. Okay, now let me show you my face. Wait a minute. Okay, here
Hi,
I am.
Claudia. Hi, Claudia. Good to see you.
Yes, hi.
So for me, an appointment is not a result. It's an activity. And let me share with you why. it's an activity because, and I'll make it about real estate, not being a team leader, because I'm calling real estate agents to meet with me, and we might go over time, and that's okay. Those 3 appointments for me are with real estate agents that potentially would want to partner with Keller Williams. Now, Claudia, there's 30,000 agents in my market. I'm never going to run out of people to call, never. And my conversation is simply, you know, I'm a real estate trainer and coach. I help real estate agents like you build more successful businesses. Script, imagine that. And I'm sure you don't want to be recruited. Nobody wakes up saying, gee whiz, I hope somebody calls me and tries to recruit me today. However, if I could spend 15 minutes with you and teach you one thing that would help you make more money in the next 12 months, would it be worth 15 minutes of your time? Now, Claudia, 100%. There is no reason for me not to get 3 people who say yes every day. 100%. So are there days that I don't get 3 appointments? Yes.
Yep.
Do I average 3 appointments scheduled every week? Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Do I average 60 appointments scheduled every month? Yes, I do. Because I choose whether I make the next call, and then the next call, and then the next call. Now, if I were calling for sell by owners, Claudia, we'll make this about real estate. I'm simply calling with, I notice your home is for sale. I'm sure you don't want to list it, or you already would have. And if I had a full price offer on your home today, would you want me to bring you the offer? If I'm calling expired listings, I noticed your listing came off the market and I was just curious, are you still interested in selling? If I had a full price offer today, would you want me to bring you the offer? Now, if my standard is one person saying yes per day, and in the agents that I coach, what I tell them is hit your daily standard for conversations and schedule 1 face-to-face appointment every day, whichever comes last. So if it's 10 conversations in 1 appointment, you're not going to stop talking to people until you get that 1 appointment. And it is a choice because you choose whether or not you're going to make the next call or not. Now that might be too harsh, and I don't want you to hear that message because I truly love my family. And success is not the result of how much time I put into this. So it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to work more hours. Success is the result of focus and energy. So the answer is, for me, for you too, work with more focus and energy. Don't work more hours. Now, Claudia, how'd I do? Are we okay? Do you still like me? Is this the last time you're ever coming on this call?
No, of course I like you. Just to clarify, I just want to ask you a clarifying question. So it happens that people weren't picking up, you weren't connecting, this, that, whatever. You only have 2 and your family's waiting for you. What is your choice?
Okay. So I have a time, if I keep my promises. If I've told my family that I will be home by 6 and we're having dinner at 6:30, I'm leaving at 6. It's not, I'm going to work until 8 o'clock at night and I'm calling my family and saying, sorry guys, work is more important than you. It's God, family, then business. So the answer is not worth
Okay.
8.
Now I still like you.
Okay. The answer, if I go home at 6 and I've only got 2 appointments instead of 3, I look at my calendar and ask, where did I lose time? Because I wasn't working with focus and energy.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys, what did you hear? Give me some ahas. Claudia, and thank you for joining us. It's so excited when somebody new joins our call.
John, for clarity purpose, choice is because we are self-employed. Because if we were employed, then we would be doing exactly what we were being told.
Eddie, if I hired you and I said, I'm going to pay you $200,000 a year, would you be interested in that opportunity?
Sure.
Yeah. And I said, these are the standards that you have to hit in order to keep your job. So far, so good, right?
Yep.
And if you're not hitting those standards, what would happen?
Fired.
Yeah. So my question then, Eddie brings up a great topic here, is if you were to hire yourself,
Mhm.
would you? Would you hire yourself? And if the
No.
answer is yes, would you fire yourself?
Yep.
Well, you would if you're not hitting standard because
Sure.
you had an agreement. You had an agreement.
For sure.
All right, give me a couple of ahas and we're gonna jump.
So it's working with focus, not working longer hours.
Mhm.
Yes, Sarah, yes. Couple more. All right, three things are possible. Either today's information.
Hit my
apps-
standards,
apps-
I have to go back to.
Say it again, Lance. Oh, we
If
lost
I
you.
don't hit my-
Oh, Lance, it was going to be good, and your signal is just awful. So sorry, man. I really wanted to hear what you had to say. All right, guys, it's 9:03. Let's get to work.
What is work? What is the standard for work, right? 20 conversations a day, not 19, not 18, not 17 conversations. When I have 17 conversations because it's close enough, I have settled. The 18th conversation could have been $1 million listing that I didn't get. The worst part is I never knew because I did not make the call. Do not settle. Go, Chandra.
The purpose of the call is to make care calls, not sales calls. Always lead with gratitude. Remember to say, "Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate you." Bring value to every single conversation. Go, Diane.
Every day and every conversation, focus on getting one face-to-face appointment with someone that wants to sell real estate, getting a referral, adding one person to my database. Go, Shoshana. Set non-negotiable standards. Live up to those standards. 20 conversations a day is a standard. One face-to-face appointment per day is a standard. Adding one person to my database every single day is a standard. Go, Melissa.
Find someone today that is thinking of buying or selling real estate, whether it's 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or 1 year from now. It doesn't matter because I'll need listings and buyers a year from now. I'm looking for opportunity, period, not opportunity today. Opportunity, period. Go, Sarah.
Because I have entered and followed up with those 250 people. Because I have entered those 250 people into my pipeline, I follow up with them forever because I reject rejection. No is not a word that lives in my vocabulary. No simply means not yet. Because I follow it up every single day, I have created emotional proximity. People do not change their minds. They make new decisions based on new information. Since I have emotional proximity, when they make a new decision, they hired me. I keep calling because success is absolutely guaranteed. Make it a great day.
Outstanding. Very well done, everyone. You guys crushed it today. Happy Monday. It is the second week of March. So exciting. We're heading into halftime in the third month of the first quarter of the year. So that's exciting. Let's go get to work. Make it a great day.